Nowhere But Here. This is episode 25.
5.
I'd forgotten to ask that. I'd forgotten to make sure. But it is. And I am Tom.
I'm Ant.
And yes, that is an a cappella version of Toto's Africa.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a Slovenian vocal group called Perpetuum Jazzil.
Which sounds dirty.
Yeah. But it's on a YouTube channel called Jan Trost. Obviously, we'll put that link and video and everything up in all the usual places.
Yeah, there's like a minute and a bit before that where they recreate a rainstorm.
Yeah, and then they do like a thunderstorm, and it's really clever. Yeah, you definitely need to go check out.
Yeah, go and have a watch on abhpod.com.
Yes.
Because that's where it'll be after this goes up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, that song's just too nice. You kind of end up wanting to listen to
it. You can't not want to listen to it.
We'll fade that out because it's
after
very
it's been playing. We have Twitter if you want to get in contact with us. It's at ABHpod.
It is indeed.
We also
for the show individually, I've got at Hey It's Ant,
and I'm at Hey It's Me Tom.
They're too similar, it confuses me.
Yeah. And we also have a Facebook site which we set up last week, which is fine because that's going quite strongly, I feel.
Yeah.
It started to dip a little bit, but then we haven't really posted much in the last couple of days because it's been beautiful outside. I haven't wanted to be on the internet, you know.
No, you kind of want to be outside.
Yeah.
I think I've been outside a fair bit.
I spent all day yesterday in the garden, just sitting down, having a couple of beers, reading The Dark Knight Returns. Yeah,
I saw you post about that.
Yeah. Only one person got back to me on that, which kind of proves my point that it was such a great day that everyone was outside not being on the internet, I suppose.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll look on the positive side of things.
Yeah, no, exactly. You know, you were too busy to message us, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It was a lovely day, but we did get one comment from Joe. Funnily enough, fairly similar lifestyles. In fact, except I was reading a Jezza book, which is Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah.
Followed by Towning with a Hindu. I mean, for an English teacher, really.
Yeah. Supposed to be setting a good example.
But yeah, Hindu last night, and then she came and joined the stag do that I was on.
Oh, really?
Because the Hindu essentially was Pizza Express followed by getting on a train and going to a club in Gillingham.
Oh, right.
Which
Gillingham.
Yeah, no one really wants to go there for a night out. They were going there for 10 o'clock to get in for free.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which, you know, fine.
Yeah, save money. Why not?
But Gillingham, really.
Yeah.
But and then as soon as she turned up, like the stags went off to the club within about half an hour. So at about 9:30, 10 o'clock, it was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm
just a little bit past clubbing personally.
Oh, I definitely am.
The stags were going to the casino rooms, which is in Rochester, which is kind of your grab a granny type place, really.
Yeah, it's what it's always been known as, isn't it? Like my brother and his friends, we're going to grab a granny night. We're going to casinos.
Yeah, it's if you're in Rochester, it's casinos. If you're in Maidstone, it's the Hard Rock. Not the Hard Rock.
Chicago Rock.
Chicago Rock.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They try to appeal to the largest audience, but unfortunately, they just seem to appeal to people in, over 40 who are just...
I've never been to places like that.
No.
I've never been to casinos. I've never been... actually, I did go to Chicago Rock.
I went to Chicago's once or twice.
I can't remember why we ended up there.
You never do, that's the thing.
Lashings is the main one people go to.
Yeah, because it's open till like 6 in the morning, which is crazy.
But yeah, the last time I done it, I was just kind of like, it's 12:30. Can I go home now, please? And the worst part is, like, now me and Liz, obviously we've got Chloe, and it's kind of like, if we ever do go on a night out, you're going to stay at your cousin's, or you're going to stay at nanny's, or whatever. When we get home, we get up in the morning and we're like hungover, and it's like, can we go and get Chloe? It was like the house is really weird without her there.
Oh, right.
It just doesn't feel right. So it's just like, can we go and get her?
I just think I've got to the age well, can't be bothered with it. You know?
I'm the same, like I said with gigging. I think I said before, where it's kind of like I'm over going to gig. I love gigs. I'm over going to gigs.
Yeah, it's
like
the hassle
having
of
to
getting
travel
there
too
far.
So it's not even. I suppose it's not even going to gigs. It's because I'm anticipating I've got to get home afterwards, and it's always a rush to get on the last train, and you're always crammed onto a tube on the way home.
Packed out. Yeah.
Just over it.
If the bands could come to your front room, that would be the best.
That's why they do a festival up at Kings Hill every year now. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No.
And Liz kind of wants to go. It's McFly again. She's there. I don't mind that because it's not too far. And I think it's like a midday sort of thing. They're playing midday-ish, so we can come home.
Yeah, you're not gonna be stuck in a traffic jam and get home at 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah, and there's another McFly gig that Liz wanted to go to in Olympic Park in London. But I really wanted to go to that one because Eddie Izzard was like headlining.
Eddie
Izzard?
Yeah,
it was like a comedy variety thing.
Yeah.
And he was headlining as the comedian. I was just kind of, I really want to go to that.
That would be quite cool.
And it was like buy one, get one free tickets, and it was like 25 quid a ticket.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, but we're not going.
Oh, ouch.
Oh well. So I suppose the main reason we were struggling to find an intro for the show today, and it's kind of like we couldn't really find anything. We need you guys to suggest stuff. Anything that's really light on copyright.
It's getting more and more difficult to find these intros.
Yeah, we are definitely going to have to get our own theme sorted.
We're going to have to sort a theme tune out at some point soon.
Maybe we should talk to a music producer friend of ours.
Perhaps, a couple of them around.
Yeah, they might be able to sort something out for us. But we chose that a cappella group because on the way over to Tom's today, a bit of news that was his name Cory something.
Don't ask me.
He's the lead guy from Glee. He was he played the character Finn on Glee, and he was found dead last night. Cory something or other. Yeah.
I thought you had it up. I thought you had the thing.
No. I was just saying, but the guy who played Finn, he was found dead in his hotel room after he failed to check out of his hotel room. They went up and checked, and he was dead.
This morning as well, wasn't it?
Was it this morning?
I believe.
Which would be night in the US, wouldn't it? So
I guess
I think they say last night, which is like the equivalent to this morning. But he Cory
Monteith.
Monteith.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cory Monteith, and he was found dead. And they obviously no news because it's still quite early. No news has come out about how it happened. But he had just come out of rehab for substance abuse. So. What were you giggling about?
Sorry, no, it's just that I'm going to see Pacific Rim this week, and he died in the Pacific Rim Hotel.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, I'm going to go and
Pacific
see
Rim
that
Hotel
soon as well.
on Saturday. So
yeah, yesterday.
Actually, it would because they're still hours behind, aren't they?
Yeah, so it would still be Saturday night though. Yeah.
Yeah. The body was found by Pacific Rim staff after he missed his checkout time at midday on Saturday. Said Vancouver's Deputy Chief Police Doug Leppard. Monteith has been dead for several hours, he added.
Oh, so it may have been like Saturday morning.
Yeah, apparently he returned to his room alone early on Saturday morning, having been out with friends earlier in the evening.
Yeah, they said on the CCTV he was seen kind of look healthy walking in and
in response to a question about whether the actor died of a drug overdose, up here it says Leopard, but down here it's Lepard. So,
because they haven't capitalised the P. Yeah.
Mr. Lepard said he would not discuss anything that we might have found in the room at this time. Coroner said we do not have a great deal of information as to the cause of death. An autopsy is scheduled for Monday.
So it sounds like he might have had a relapse.
Yeah, possibly.
It's crazy. He was 31, which obviously is way too young. But I thought a bit odd was Radio 1 played a song from Glee after the news segment. It was a bit like...
Really? Oh. Too soon?
It's like... It's a nice tribute, but at the same time, it's kind of like... That's really cheesy. Like, you can see... It, very forced, I think is a word we've been using a lot this morning.
Yes.
Like, with regard to covers.
Yeah,
I was kind of shocked. Kind of weird. I was actually shocked because I watched the first series and I half watched the second series because... I was kind of over it by then.
I honestly, it never really.
It appealed to me because I like like music. I like very
Yeah.
clever
Oh, for
vocal
sure.
arrangements and stuff like that. So that kind of appealed to me. I mean, the trailer for the show before it actually started made it look a lot better than it actually turned out to be. If I'm totally honest,
but it was like a tour de force, wasn't it? It was
it's
this
huge,
massive thing.
It's still going.
Yeah, I know. God knows how. I mean, they must be facing the same problem we do. Surely, songs to cover.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I mean, obviously it's got a massive.
I imagine it's probably trending on Twitter, actually.
Oh, I'd imagine so. Yeah, I don't have Twitter up this week. I've
No,
got way too many other windows open this week.
You don't want to put too much strain on the laptop.
No.
I've been doing that recently, putting a lot of strain on my laptop. I've decided that I want a game on my laptop now.
Oh,
and
right.
obviously, being as my laptop's a budget laptop, it doesn't handle them, so I've got to be very careful about what games. Yeah, Cory Monteith is the top Twitter trend.
I'm sure.
It's not even hashtagged. It's just his name.
Yeah, I mean, it was essentially like a phenomenon, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah,
At
big
one
time.
point, Glee was everywhere, and you couldn't go anywhere without hearing "Don't Stop Believing" or something like that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they played.
Was
on
it?
Radio 1, yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so that's kind of the reason that we chose the a cappella version of Toto for the beginning of the show.
Kind of in tribute to him.
Yeah, in a way.
And because it's relevant.
Yeah.
In a sense.
So big loss there. Way too young to go
Definitely.
out, really.
And he wasn't a terrible actor.
Like I say, I've never really watched it, so like
No.
I don't have a lot of.
No, you don't have a
stuff
lot
to
to
go
say.
on.
No, I watched it, and it was an alright show. Like the first, and the second one was alright, and I just kind of lost interest because it was more of the same over and over and over again. Also trending on Twitter is J.K. Rowling.
Ah, yes.
Now you went to pull this story up. I was like, no, that's mine. But it has come out. Do you say Rowling or Rowling?
I don't know. J.K. It's Rowling, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think in April or May, I think it was a book called The Cuckoo's Nest. The Cuckoo's Calling, sorry.
Right.
Cuckoo's Calling came out by an author called Robert Galbraith.
Right.
That's not a real person. That's J.K. Rowling.
Oh, I see.
Because she wanted to release a book
without.
Yeah, she wanted to release the book without the hype of it being about J.K. Rowling. It actually got high praise. It was quite well.
It was well
praised
received.
book. Well received. That's the word.
Okay.
It was a well received sort of crime novel, and she done
obviously
quite well in it.
Totally different from Harry Potter, because the problem is she's kind of like any great actor who's known for one particular. They get typecast, don't they? And so everyone's got to be
she would be
expecting
as well.
a magic and mystery and wizards type set of books to come out after.
Yeah, not
obviously she has more strings to her bow.
Yeah, and they brought linguistics experts. Would that be right? Yeah, I think linguistic experts, they came in and they were, because they knew it was a pseudonym, because the author description had this thing about him and it says Robert Galbraith is a pseudonym.
Oh, I see.
They said that, so
right.
I don't know if it's something they have to do.
I don't know.
But so they brought linguistics experts in to study it, and they looked at the patterns in the writing and everything, and they were kind of like, it's J.K. Rowling.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah, and she did say that she'd hoped to keep it a secret a bit longer. But it done quite well. I think it's like sold 1,500 copies since April.
That's pretty good going, I think.
Which,
especially seeing as
for a debut novel.
Is that physical copies as well?
It doesn't actually say.
No. Because if it's 1,500 physical, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not many people go out and buy books anymore, do they really? Because
I've got the Kindle.
Because they can get them on the Kindle, and you can buy all your books on Amazon. And if you go to www.abhpod.com, there's a link to Amazon.
Yeah,
on the top.
I recommend buying your
website.
stuff through there because it will give you a greater sense of.
You'll know.
Good.
You know that you'll have helped us in some way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that in itself will
adds an extra dynamic to your purchase, doesn't it?
Yeah. You'll feel better for helping out the little people.
You're like, yes, I got a book I really wanted to read, and I helped someone while I was purchasing my book. But yes,
no, that's not bad going, is it? 1,500.
No, 1,500 copies. It's going to sell a hell of a lot more now.
Well, yeah, now that people know.
I discovered this on Twitter. Like somebody I follow was like, "Oh, J.K. Rowling got a new book under a secret name. I have to buy it." Just because it's J.K. Rowling.
Yeah,
it's not Harry Potter or it's a crime novel.
But it doesn't matter, does it? Like, people will buy it because of the name. She's a brand now, isn't she?
Yes, and to further strengthen that, I looked on Amazon because I was looking. Oh, I wonder how people reviewed the book, And there was a review. The latest review was, I gave this book 5 stars, even though I haven't read it, just because it's J.K. Rowling. It's kind of like, you might not look like the book.
Yeah, no, that's it. I mean, it's obviously written in a completely different style.
Well,
it's a completely different genre of novel, isn't it?
Yeah. Like the reviews say, like the author, they're saying Robert, kind of very descriptive, and you actually feel like you're there. And look, I mean, she's not a terrible writer. When you read Harry Potter, it is very descriptive and
they wouldn't have been
magical.
made into those films, and they wouldn't have been able. She wouldn't have been able to go to, what was it, 7 or 8 books in the end? I can't remember.
It was 8 books. It was 7 years, but 8 books. 7 years in school, but the last year was split across 2 books. No, 2 films, 8 films, 7 books. 8 films, 7 books. Yeah. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's got to be completely different style. It would be interesting to read it, just to see what she makes of a more, I don't want to say more serious subject matter, but less magic-y.
Less fantasy.
Yeah. See
less teen book, more adult. Because it's not a child's crime novel, it's an adult's crime novel, as far as I know. I was tempted to kind of buy it because I need to read this, see what it's like, but I've got like 3 books. Like, I've got one that I'm reading, one that I started to read and was like, no, I've got to stop, and another one that I didn't mean to purchase. I was just interested in it, but okay, I'll read it anyway. So I'm still reading the Game of Thrones. I've got The Shining, and I accidentally brought World War Z.
Oh, really? Accidentally?
Yeah, because I was reading the sample. I think, I was reading the sample and got to the end of the book, and it went, I'll go to purchase the book, and I was going to, take me to the page so I can purchase the book. Right. But no, on the Kindle, you press purchase, it's Amazon one-click.
Oh, I see.
Your purchase has gone through. What? No, I didn't mean to buy it. But yeah, so that would be interesting to see how that goes. And because it's the first in a series of books, I believe, as well.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's going to be a top
The policeman
seller.
doesn't have a lightning scar or anything.
I don't believe he does, no. Or live under the stairs.
No. No, but it would be interesting to see now how much it sells after it's come out that she's the one who's written it.
It's going to be a top Amazon top seller. It's going to be
couple of months. It'll be 1,500 in the next week, probably.
Definitely.
Day.
Definitely, it is going to be. I don't know. More news?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The news that I've got is slightly more serious. I don't know whether we want to do light and fluffy for a bit or we get into nastiness.
I don't know. There's no sort of in between, is there?
No, not really. No. Well, yeah. I mean, the big thing going on in the UK at the moment. Again, it happens during the summer in the UK. You can't have a summer without a good riot.
No.
I mean, a couple of years ago, they were all over the place. It started in London, and people were setting fire to Seven Sisters, and kind of Tottenham area. But then it spilled out into like Birmingham and Manchester, and
because they just jumped on the.
Yeah, it's the
chav culture in the UK. They see a riot which was for an actual cause in London.
Yeah.
Started for an actual cause, and in Birmingham. Oh, we can get away with this shit. And then let's go out and get a fight.
I think it digressed into racial politics as well, because it was a race riot in London because it was about policemen targeting black teenagers and stuff, and it's proven that the police do pull over and stop and search and do spot checks on black people more than they do white people. That's a proven statistic.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it is.
It's hard to enforce. It's difficult to kind of but all the stop checks, like
majority of them are.
Yeah, which is it's unfounded really, but at the end of the day, they've got to make their decisions. And are they making the best decisions? Are they making the right decisions? Is that right?
It's a difficult area to go into.
Yeah, no, but then it kind of digressed into kind of these race riots in Birmingham, where it was all about like people were targeting Muslims, and I was like, well, how is that in any way related to the things that's going on in London?
It's not. It's
it got out of hand a couple.
Yeah, like I say, it is the chav culture. It's the it's sort of like because of social media and the news and everything covering everything. It is like a socially affected sort of thing. Yeah. Like people see it happening somewhere else, so they're more likely to do it like they wouldn't do it normally. Yeah.
It's just you kind of think, oh wow, society's crumbling. Let's go and loot a shop or something.
People just want free tellies.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. But this time it's in Belfast, which is sad, really, because I can't see how anything is going to end over there. Like the troubles, there's always going to be tension. And it's a shame, really, because it's gone on for so many years that people don't really know what the fuck they're fighting for anymore. Really.
Yeah, what was the original fight about?
Oliver Cromwell, wasn't it, really, going in there and taking the land for the British landowners? That's what it is.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
And ever since then, they've been fighting.
It's been about, Catholics and Protestants and all the rest of it, but... Yeah. Seven police officers were slightly injured during a second night of rioting in North Belfast on Saturday. Officers were attacked with petrol bombs, fireworks, laser pens and stones.
Yeah, because you can actually buy the dangerous laser pens now on the internet.
Yeah. That's... Because they were all going off in Tahrir Square as well in Cairo the other week. While the BBC were doing their broadcast, people were shining laser pens up at the presenters.
To blind someone.
Yeah.
Well, don't know what's preferable, a fucking laser pen in your eye or a petrol bomb on your head.
Well,
probably the laser pen, to be fair.
Yeah, I think so. But so far, 33 people have been arrested during 2 nights of trouble in Northern Ireland. Apparently, a policeman was hit on the head with a petrol bomb during the rioting on Saturday.
I didn't even know that.
So there you go.
So what is this riot? What are they saying? Because I've not heard about it. I think they were just finishing that story when I turned on the radio, got in the car. So I don't actually know what this is about this time.
They say they're trying to defend their culture. It's the whole Catholics and Protestants.
Is it still Catholics and Protestants?
It's still all about that. Yeah. This is why I say it will never really get sorted. I don't think, because really you've got these two highly volatile sets of people living right next to one another, essentially in Belfast, separated by a street.
Yeah, it is. That's where the is it the Orange Brigade?
Yeah, that's right.
The march down that road.
I think there was a march that went into...
And that's where the riots...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It all kicked off from that. An Orange Order march on Friday. The police tried to ban the march.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, just let them do it. As long
so
as
they done the most religious thing they could think of and started fighting.
Yeah, precisely. But... it's just, the Orangemen asked for protest against the ban of their march, but the leadership didn't ask for violence.
Yeah.
It's just very sad, and hopefully it doesn't get too much worse. Too much worse.
That is right, isn't it?
Yeah, I think maybe.
Doesn't get much worse.
Much worse.
And she's taken the dog out for a walk, so we can't even ask the English teacher. That is.
But it saddens me to think that hundreds of years later this stuff is still going on, and because it kind of came to a head a few years ago when the ceasefire came in, they handed all the weapons in. The IRA, it's not about the IRA this time though. It's
not
the
this
Orange
time,
Men,
yeah.
and
it's not about the terrorist group. It's about the religious group.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not going to go there.
But yeah, so there's not much more to say about that.
No, it's just trying to get more out of it. But it is just ridiculous that people are still fighting over this. The whole Protestant Catholic thing, or whatever way around you want to say it, is just ridiculous because they're worshipping the same God.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Catholics, obviously you've got the what's it? Well, how do they refer to it? The triumvirate. The Father, Son, yeah.
I mean,
but they just worship differently. That's what all religion is. I mean, all religions worship the same God, don't they? But
yeah,
we're not going on religion.
No, go back and listen to our views on religion.
So I think fighting over which one's right is.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the thing is, like, there is a season for marching in Northern Ireland, and it's between April to August. And the 12th of July is when the Orangemen march to commemorate William of Orange's victory over the Catholic King James II. The Battle of Boyne in Ireland in 1690.
Maybe that is a bit disrespectful then.
Yeah, but they're allowed to march.
They're allowed to march, yeah. It's not illegal for them to do so, but to do it near a Catholic sort of...
Yeah, like I say, it's all...
It's like waving it in their face, I suppose.
Yeah.
See, I don't know the history of the...
But yeah, basically, Catholics see the marches as triumphalist and sectarian, with some traditional orange routes passing through or past areas occupied mainly by Catholics and nationalists. I mean, this is the thing, march in your own area.
But are they marching a certain route because that's...
Well, this is it, I mean...
the historical thing. And if it is the historical sort of route where this battle happened or whatever, the guy triumphed, what are Catholic people living there?
Well,
still?
yeah. You know that they're gonna be marching through
I don't know.
your area. It's such a tricky...
See, I didn't know
situation.
that about it. That kind of does.
Yeah, and you know there are arguments for and there are arguments against.
Obviously,
the problem is that it's a difficult thing to resolve because neither side's going to budge, which is a shame. But yeah, the other bit of news really.
Loosely related, are we?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. I'm forcing this next one. Oh, have you got something else? Have you?
Well, I was going to go because you were saying about the whole race riots and stuff like that.
Okay,
I was going to say about the George Zimmerman trial in the US. I don't know if anyone heard, because obviously I think a majority of our listeners are UK at the minute.
Well, yeah.
Because that's where we are. But the George Zimmerman, he was a guy in America, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he basically shot an unarmed black lad. 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. He was unarmed. The guy said, was it something to do with a hoodie? Because he had a hoodie on, he looked quite threatening or something. He didn't know if... George Zimmerman was saying he didn't know if he would have a weapon concealed or anything like that. And he was a neighbourhood watch guy. He was out on his route. And obviously, Florida, you got the right to bear arms. And, he said the gun was there.
Yeah.
And he basically shot this kid. He just shot him dead. And he's actually been acquitted of all charges. He's found not guilty.
I just can't see how that can happen. If I'm honest with you,
No.
like how do you get?
That's what you were saying about police prejudice and stuff like that.
No, precisely. It's like you make that snap decision, and it's based on nothing but stereotype.
He felt threatened.
Yeah.
The thing is, I thought the whole self-defense argument would be if you're attacked.
Well, yeah,
or if he made the move to attack you.
Self-defense is, usually if he's made a threatening move, like if he went to draw a gun, you draw a gun faster and kill him.
Or maybe he put his hand in his pocket to get his phone out.
But then everyone with the hoodies, I have my hand in my pockets when I've got a hoodie on. Do you know?
That's because we live in England. It's bloody cold.
Yeah, well, yeah, true.
I didn't realise Zimmerman was only 29.
No, he looks a lot older.
He does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's. But obviously, it's not gone down very well in America, and they are saying it's police racial stereotype sort of thing. That's why he got away with it. Is he a member
of the police force, or is he just a neighbourhood watch?
No, I think he was just neighbourhood watch. He might have been ex. No, he can't have even been ex something because he's 29. According to the Associated Press, Zimmerman, 29, showed no emotion as the verdict clearing him of all charges was read.
Yeah.
A few hours prior to reaching a verdict, jurors sent a note to Judge Deborah Nelson asking for clarification on the manslaughter charge. Clarification on manslaughter charge.
Right. See, and that's the thing. Accidental murder is normally referred to as manslaughter, and you still get a jail sentence for that.
Yeah. How can you say that's not even manslaughter?
Yeah, he shot a person dead.
It's it was self-defense. Yeah, but he still killed someone.
It doesn't make any sense, does it?
He's allowed to just walk free. But then you're saying that people in the army...
Well, and again, he's been found innocent by a group of his peers. That's how they've seen it. These 12 jury members, I suppose. I mean, that lawyer must have been fucking good.
Well, his lawyer, yeah, definitely.
I mean, the judge is asking, he said, hopefully everyone will respect the jury's verdict. he also said that Mr. Zimmerman would now have to be very cautious and protective of his safety because there is still a fringe element who have said that they would revenge, that they would not listen to a verdict of not guilty. So
Wow.
he's in the firing line now. I would rather be in prison, I think. No pun intended.
And the other question is, has he still got his gun licence?
Well, yeah.
Has he still got his gun? Well, no, because that would have been taken for evidence, wouldn't it? They wouldn't be giving that back.
True, yeah. But does he lose his licence?
He's going to need some sort of defence, self-defence now, isn't he? He's going to, like...
Yeah, no, you're right. Police justified their decision not to detain him by citing the state's controversial stand your ground law, which allows a citizen to use lethal force if he or she feels in imminent danger. Police initially said the law prevented them from bringing charges.
So he wasn't even, like, held while the trial was going on?
No.
He fucking got away with everything.
That's insane,
That's...
isn't it?
Yeah, America have definitely got some messed up laws.
It's just, it's very confusing. The whole gun law thing in America is really confusing. And just, not good.
No.
And they need to do something to control it because there's far too many shootings that go on there. I mean, I know that we have shootings over here, but...
Yeah.
It's just not to the same...
Well, no, I mean,
scale.
in America you have these bloody school shootings that just seem to happen every 5-10 years.
Yeah. Well, not even that. Like, you'll have a spate of them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean,
you get people that just go on a rampage
Yeah.
of, like... Well, yeah, because you had... was it last year they had the school shooting? The year before that you had the Dark Knight, like, in the theatre.
Yeah,
Or it might have been even been in the same year, but...
Yeah.
Messed up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Something needs to be done with
I
the
don't
gun
think
rights over there, but again, it's...
But what, though? Because you're going to piss a lot of people off.
Yeah,
Like,
precisely,
well,
'cause
I think
it's in their constitution. They have the right to bear arms, and they have the right to defend their property and themselves, and all the rest of it. They've got the freedom to use these things.
No, I know the Zimmerman thing. It was his was a handgun,
Yeah.
but I think the best thing I've heard, like people saying that he was a guy in the army. That I heard it was a podcast thing,
Right?
obviously, because that's all I ever do. And he said, like, yeah, people should be allowed guns, but why would a hobbyist? Why would somebody like who wants a gun for defence in their house need like an AK-47?
Well,
why would you need like
why do you need an
automatic
assault
rifle? Yeah.
Or like a hunting rifle or anything. Well, you can
You
understand.
don't need
hunting
military-grade
rifles,
weapons to defend your house.
No, not at all.
But the law allows people
to
go and have an automatic gun.
Yeah.
One shot's enough.
Yeah. Really, and you don't even have to shoot at the person; just shoot in the air.
Yeah.
That will scare enough people off.
No, the best way I've heard of someone defending their house was on a podcast the other day. It was a guy from Sons of Anarchy. Machete. Someone was breaking into his house while he was in there. He had a machete and he just held up to the guy, just walked off. Yeah.
Nice.
You don't need a gun to defend your house.
No, not at all. But hey, they do, and they will. The other bit of news, the last thing, like after last week's podcast, I went and watched the Grand Prix last week, and again, safety concerns in Formula One, big thing. At the start of the race, one of the first pit stops, a guy, Mark Webber, came in. The pit stop was under 3 seconds long. He came out, the back wheel came off straight away.
Really?
Wasn't even attached.
He just had the wheels changed.
Just had the wheel change put on. But the mechanics at the back rear wheel, because the camera was over the top of the car as they were doing it, and these guys had kind of put the wheel on. The guy with the gun putting the nut in was having trouble. Pulled it back out, went to grab another gun. The guy on the jack at the back dropped the car down. He went while these guys were still holding the tyre.
Oh really? Jesus.
Yeah. And obviously it wasn't seated because this guy hadn't put the bolt in.
But he saw the guy take the gun away and assumed and
then went bang.
Bolted the wheel on.
Even though these guys still had their hands on the tyre. Normally what happens is they'll put a hand out across the top of the tyre to give a all clear kind of. So one guy will put his hand across like that, or they'll put a hand up or something. Yeah. But these guys are so under pressure, like regularly now you'll get pit stops, 4 tyres changed.
Refueled.
No, they don't do fueling anymore.
Do they not?
No. but you'll get 4 tyres changed in under 3 seconds, which is mental.
Yeah.
But it just causes these slips in concentration. Because what happened then was obviously he started off, and the speed limit in pit lane is around 40 to 45 miles an hour. But obviously the wheel came off at the point that his wheels were spinning. So we don't know how fast the wheel was travelling, but it went through 2 sets of pit crews who all managed to get out of the way. There was a cameraman filming Webber's car as it came out on 3 wheels. Filmed the car going past. He got hit in the back by the wheel.
Oh.
It was bouncing down and it hit him right between the shoulder blades, and he went down like a sack of shit.
I'm not surprised
to watch. And it's amazing that he only came away, I think, I don't think he broke any bones. He lacerated his head.
Major bruising, I should imagine.
Major bruising, cuts and bruising. But that's insane. I mean, the guy wasn't wearing a helmet because he has to put a camera down there. At least all the pit crews were wearing helmets.
They got protective gear and they got fire suits.
Yeah. This guy was literally wearing just a shirt and shorts.
Ouch.
Had nothing to protect himself.
And with cars going down there at 45 mile an hour anyway,
that's still quick.
Yeah, that's enough to kill you.
Yeah.
Especially one of those like with the bloody wings on the front, taking out.
But those tyres weigh a lot.
Big thick tyres.
Yeah. And about half an hour later, another car, the engine blew up and it went on fire. And the guy pulled it across to the side of the track, got out quickish. Took the wheel out, got out, jumped away and ran away. But then what they've got to do is they've got to put the wheel back in the car so they can manoeuvre it if they need to get it out of the way, because it was only just off track. So he went back after the fire had been put out, put the wheel back in and walked away, waiting for the marshals to do their thing. The car somehow starts rolling backwards across the track
Jesus.
into the path of Sebastian Vettel, who was leading the race at the time. And just, it was mental.
How?
I can only assume, normally I'm sure they put it into a gear or something, but obviously because he was just putting it in, he might have flicked something and it pulled.
Yeah, it might just be the computers think, right, like you take the wheel out, safety brake goes on, you put the wheel in, obviously the guy's in there to drive it, so
puts it
brake,
in neutral,
emergency brake comes off or something.
It must back down the hill across the track. It was mental.
That's scary.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like last weekend at all. It's crazy.
That's insane. Another sport-related story, I suppose, was Wimbledon.
Yes.
Men's Wimbledon final, Andy Murray.
We finally have a British male.
Yes.
After 77 years, who's won. Because no one says anything about the woman who won in 77.
No.
Virginia Wade.
It's the man.
It's the men that are the important ones, Yeah,
he first time in 77 years. I did catch a lot, quite a bit of that, and he was just absolutely thrashing him. Well, he did, I suppose, 3 sets to.
It was straight sets.
3 straight sets he won, but he was absolutely thrashing him. But then the match point. Yeah. Obviously,
on and on and on.
A lot more pressure, but.
The thing is that 3 sets doesn't really do justice to how Djokovic was playing. He played really, really well, but
the thing is, Murray was absolutely going for every fucking ball.
There was no way he was letting it out.
Every ball, he was just flying. He could have done himself a serious injury.
Yeah, I mean,
majorly.
I think he was overdoing it slightly.
But I heard the commentators were saying that Djokovic has never won a set against Murray on grass.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, right. So I suppose in a way that's good for the psyche, isn't it? When you go into a game like that, and then also there's the expectation of the crowd and everything like that.
There's a hell of a lot of pressure on Murray. Hell of a lot of pressure.
But congratulations. I suppose it was good. It was a good weekend because you had Murray winning that. There was the English and Irish Lions were winning the rugby.
I don't watch a lot of sport. You can't avoid Wimbledon, really.
No, not at all. And I get lost in Wimbledon. It's the only time I really take any notice of tennis. But
I think the best Facebook status I saw was British men's champion is much better than Scottish runner-up. Something like, because that's how it would have gone. That is how it would have gone.
Yeah. But yeah, no, good times.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, everyone's a bit more up about things.
What do you reckon next summer? Be the Andy Murray tennis gear?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he'll become the new brand.
New Fred
Andy
Perry.
Murray doesn't have quite the ring to it that Fred Perry does, though. Fred Perry is kind of, but maybe that's because it's been established.
If you're looking at sports gear, Andy Murray wouldn't, but Andrew Murray would.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
That's
perhaps.
Tennis and Andrew.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm sure there'll be all sorts of branding and stuff coming out.
Oh, of course, of course.
Everyone's got to make a buck. And why not?
And what was this stat was like Andy Murray, for every hour he played, or for every minute he played in Wimbledon, he earned like £30,000 or something.
Really?
But with the women, every match or every minute or whatever she played or hour, she was earning like over 100,000.
Bloody hell.
Because I think like the women's tennis, they play less sets, don't they? It's best of 3 for women, whereas men it's best of 5.
Yeah.
So it's a lot longer, but I don't think the prize. I think the prize is very similar.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because
they're playing less time.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So the actual prize money equates to.
Because I know that Wimbledon was actually the last of all the tennis tours to pay females the same as males.
Yeah, so they get the same, but they're playing less.
They're playing less.
So it's unfair. They're not getting paid the same, but they're playing less time. So their prize should be less.
Yeah, maybe. Let's hear.
Let's hear your opinions.
Yeah. I'd like to hear the opinions of some feminists on that.
The prize fund is definitely the same, though.
Yeah, prize fund
100%.
They just play less minutes.
Yeah, no, I was just making sure that we've got our facts straight. That the prize fund is the same.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and we're not just misinformed.
But Anne thinks it's unfair that they should.
Whoa! Hang on a minute. I wasn't saying that.
No.
I kind of did though, didn't I? Yeah, let's.
But yeah, back to the weather.
That was the chair, by the way. If you heard that.
Where is this? Since about May last year.
29th of May this year.
Yes. I've had on standby because it's been quite good weather recently, and it's been good weather for the last few weeks as well. But there's a quiz that I was going to quiz you on. It's been in our inbox in our abhpod@gmail.com. Yeah.
If you want to contact us, because I don't think we did that. No. In our email inbox, Tom's had this link and it's a quiz that don't take it. And I wouldn't have even thought about taking it if you hadn't have said don't take it.
So you've been itching.
But I've been like, and I actually haven't looked at it. I know what it's about, I think.
Yeah, it's basically 7 questions on spring and summer traditions in the UK. There's a lot of really random things that go on in this country that you might not know about, but
I should
take the test. I think I got 4 out of 7.
4?
Oh, yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's alright.
Over 50%.
Because a lot of these are like, yeah, it's a pass. But yeah. So let's see what you make of some of these. Right. Okay. Question 1. The annual cheese rolling competition this year opted for a foam cheese for safety reasons. What was it before? Was it Red Leicester, Double Gloucester, Little Wallop, or Stinking Bishop?
I want to say Red Leicester jumps out at me, but I don't know if that's right. I don't know.
Because this is basically a tradition where people in a part of
cheese
the UK,
rolling.
they roll wheels of cheese down
and it's like a really steep hill.
Yeah.
And they roll a cheese and they chase it.
You've got to chase it because it might fall over. So
and if you catch it, you win it.
Yeah.
And it's like quite an expensive cheese. I don't know if Red Leicester's expensive. I'm questioning myself now. I'll go for Red Leicester.
Red Leicester? Let's go. No, it was Double Gloucester because actually it's held in Gloucester.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Double Gloucester. Gloucester police warned cheesemaker Diane Smart she could be liable if someone was injured chasing her cheese. So organisers used a foam substitute. The men's race was won by an American, the women's by a local teenager.
Oh, interesting.
But I mean, this American, he's wearing a Stars and Stripes top.
You couldn't question.
It's almost like Lycra. He's like really suited up for it. There's a load of British people in the background with just jeans and t-shirts on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was that one. Double Gloucester for cheese rolling.
Wrong.
Not anymore though. Foam.
Health
and safety's gone mad.
Well, it's not even health and safety. It's just the woman doesn't want to get sued.
Well, yeah, true. So question number 2. A champion in the Cheshire village of Williston demands a championship in the Cheshire village of Williston demands that competitors charm which creature? Is it charming earthworms, caterpillars, or snails?
I've heard of this. I know. There is a competition somewhere where you pound the earth to get the worms up, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's that championship. Mm-hmm. I'll go for earthworms. Yeah. It's not like anything's riding on this competition at all.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm like, really.
I don't even think there's pride riding on this.
No. Why would I know these really weird things?
Earthworms, correct. It is
was
worms.
Right. Yeah.
Competitors may not dig worms from the ground, but must use vibrations to pull
Come
forth
on.
the mini beast. You know that.
Yeah, I've heard of it before somewhere. Yeah, I knew this fact that to get the worms to come up, you pat on the ground because it simulates rainfall, and obviously worms need moisture.
Yeah.
So
there you go. You see.
I might not know my cheese, but I know my worms.
That's it. Right, question 3. The Cotswold Olympic, spelt with a CK.
Because of copyright issues.
Games take place at the end of May. What unusual contests do they include? Toe wrestling, ear pulling, shin kicking, or elbow tapping?
I'm going for toe wrestling.
Toe wrestling.
There is a thing in toe wrestling where you tie your feet together. Yeah.
Is that true?
Somewhere.
Wrong.
Oh, it was wrong.
It's shin kicking. Competitors used...
That was my second choice.
Competitors used to suffer broken legs, but today wear soft shoes and stuff straw down their trousers. A toe wrestling contest takes place in Derbyshire during July. That wasn't the May one.
It wasn't the May one, but...
But you'd heard of the toe wrestling.
Yeah.
See, I'd heard of
I think I've seen it somewhere as well.
Yeah.
I think it might have been like a Guinness World Records program or a Ripley's.
One of those, Ripley's ones. Or
that's where I heard about the cheese rolling. It was on Ripley's, right. But I didn't know what cheese it was.
Yeah. No, that's weird. Shin kicking.
Yeah, I did think shin kicking as well.
I'd heard of shin kicking. I mean, I just can't think of anything. Why would you want to do that? A contest to kick each other's shins to see who can withstand.
Rather get water chucked on me and then whipped with a bamboo cane. What country was that?
China?
I can't remember what it was. No, it wasn't. It was like an Eastern European one we covered.
Oh, yeah. It was...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not important. We
Latvia
covered it somewhere.
Yeah. Go back a few episodes and listen about that. That was an Easter tradition, wasn't it? So it was the Easter podcast.
Yes, it would have been the Easter podcast, yeah. It might have been the Mother's Day one.
Yeah, maybe.
Or St. Patrick's Day.
No, it wasn't St. Patrick's
Day. Okay, right.
So,
we get lost.
Question 4. The World Pea Shooting Championship takes place in Cambridgeshire during July. Which one of these is not in the rules?
Oh my god.
Pea shooters are not to be shared. Pea shooter cannot exceed 12 inches.
12 metres.
Inches.
Oh, is that inch? Oh, it looks like an M for me. I need my eyes tested again.
Laser sights are banned for children. And you must bring your own peas. Which of those is not in the rules?
I'll bring your own peas, I would have thought.
Because you think, like, pea shooters not sharing.
Yeah, plus if you bring your own peas, you could weight them or, you know.
That's true. Not the laser sights banned for children. Oh, no, that would be in the rules.
That would be in the rules, yeah. Oh, no. Bring your own peas would be in the rules then, wouldn't it? I guess no, you must bring your own peas. Wouldn't be in the rules. So it would be... Yeah, I imagine the rule would be that you can't bring your own peas. So yeah, must be in the rules. Must bring your own peas is the answer. Is not in the rules.
Okay.
I'm going for...
Correct.
Come on.
It's bring your own peas. Competitors must use the peas provided. Laser sights are permitted for adults, but not children. Pea shooters are limited to 12 inches and must not be shared.
Health and safety, hygiene.
Yeah, exactly.
Sharing. Yeah, so it is bring your own peas. That's what I was trying to get out. No, the rule would be bring your own peas.
I got a little bit confused.
Fucking logic prevailed there.
Yeah, see? We talk about these things and then we work it out. So you're on 2 out of 7 so far.
It's not bad.
After 4, so you're 50% at the moment.
Awesome.
Question number 5. A 22-mile race began in Wales in 1980. Who competes each June? Is it humans versus sheep?
Oh my god.
Humans versus horses? A horse versus sheep, or all of the above? So human, sheep, and horses all in a race. 22 miles.
It makes you want to say all of the above, but I don't think a human's ever going to beat a horse, so human versus sheep.
Yeah, and it is in Wales after all.
We're not going there.
Human versus sheep.
I would say.
Yeah.
Because the person's never going to beat a horse in a race.
Wrong.
Ah.
It's humans versus
Oh
horse.
my god.
Riders on horseback compete against runners in the race, which began after a pub discussion over who would win in a marathon between a man and a horse.
That's not a marathon.
22 miles, isn't it?
No, it's 26.2.
Yeah, I know. Bad times.
Whoops.
What was that?
That was...
Most of the winners have been horses, but humans have narrowed the gap.
Yeah, see, I was going to say... in my head, when I gave the answer, I was thinking, like, unless there was a horse... if there's a rider on the horse, no way is the human going to win. But if the horse didn't have a rider, the human would stand a chance.
Well, yeah, because it wouldn't know where it was
But then the horse would get spooked and could end up killing people.
Yeah, that's right.
So...
I mean... It seems a bit of a silly competition.
Why would you say who's going to win, a human or a horse?
Well,
a horse would win every
I've
time.
I'm sure I've heard this argument played out somewhere recently. I don't know whether it was in real life or whether it was on a podcast or what, but I think someone was trying to argue that, yeah, horses would win in a sprint, but over distance, would it not be that pacing would get the better of them? But then horses are designed to go... I don't know.
People use horses to cross deserts and shit.
Yeah.
And to climb mountains and...
Yeah, it seems a bit stupid. But hey, that's what happens. And, people never win, but they're closing the gap. One day, a human may well beat a mounted horse.
Well, you never know.
I doubt it.
But they're going to keep trying.
There are some brilliant ones, aren't there? Right, question number 6. The 12th century tradition of swan upping is celebrated in the Thames each July. Participants do what?
I was going to ask you what swan upping was.
Yeah.
I don't need to ask because that's what I'm trying to guess.
Is swan upping racing boats resembling swans, swimming across the swans, among the swans, not across, among, count swans for the Queen, or bless swans as they pass? That's a tradition, not necessarily a swan.
Right, okay. 12th century, counting swans for the Queen. Where is it? On the Thames. And the Queen does live in London.
And she owns the swans.
And she needs to make sure their populations, but blessing them. Well, 12th century, the monarchy would still be extremely religious, and most of the country would. Boats, no. Swimming among the swans. I don't know. I would say bless. I'm going to go for bless the swans.
Bless the swans as they pass. Rightio.
That's probably wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
They count them.
Fuckers! I knew it.
It's a census of the Queen's swans. Signets are weighted and measured. Participants use traditional rowing skiffs in a 5-day journey upriver. So people get together for a week up the Thames.
That's not counting swans.
That's
not counting. That's weighing them and measuring them. I suppose
it's a census,
you count them as you're doing it.
Like you weigh them.
A census. Where's Jeffrey? He wasn't here last year either.
They have names.
I don't know why the swan would be called Jeffrey.
Because
I was going to go for count them, but I was thinking bless them. Maybe they're blessing them so they would reproduce, upping the population of swans.
Yeah, no, I can see your logic. It's a good logic.
It's wrong logic, so it's not that good.
But then, yeah. So, final question. Number 7. A Dorset pub holds a nettle contest in July. It involves doing what with stinging nettle plants? Wearing the nettles, running through the nettles, eating the nettles, or stinging rivals?
Whipping them with nettles. See, I think it's probably on Jackass I saw that. Or Dirty Sanchez. Yeah. Eating nettles, I know people do eat nettles.
They do, yeah. Apparently you can make nettle soup.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be quite good for you.
Wearing nettles is just fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But so is running through nettles, but I know people do that.
Exactly.
Nettle contest. I want to go eating because before you even gave me the answers, I was thinking eating. Because I know people eat them. It's probably wrong.
Who knows? Let's find out. Correct!
Yay!
It's a nettle eating contest. Contestants strip the stalks and eat the leaves non-stop for an hour. The person who has cleared the leaves from the longest length of stalks wins.
Ow!
Why? Why would you do that? I suppose
the saliva neutralises the poison, though.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never tried it. I don't want to.
No, you haven't got any nettles, don't you?
There are nettles.
We're not going to try it at all.
If you want us to. No, we won't.
No, we're not. We're not going to do it at all.
But yeah, so the person,
3 out
I
of
suppose
7.
what they do is they strip all the stalks off, and then they lay the stalks out, and then the person has stripped off the longest length of
Jeez. But it's not even the person who's eaten the most.
No.
It's the person who's eaten the most off of
the longest
stalk.
one. So just get.
So it could be one person goes, oh, this is a really long stalk, I'm going to eat these ones.
Yeah.
And like there's someone with a pile of stalks. But the person who's had one wins because it's the longest.
I don't know.
Who's cleared the leaves from the longest stalk?
Say that, yeah. The longest length of stalks.
Oh,
so you lay them out.
End to end. Or you just measure each one.
But I just don't understand why you'd want to do that.
How did you get 4? How did I get 3?
I don't know. Lucky guessing, I feel.
Yeah.
Was how.
Logic was one of them.
Yeah.
That's messed. Why? That's odd. Why did we do stuff like this?
There are some weird things. Apparently, you have scored 0 to 3. Ouch.
Why ouch?
I don't know.
What does that... ouch, numb and fearless.
Yeah, I got numb and then 7 out of 7. I suppose it's if you know your stuff, then you're one of these people that would do these things, perhaps.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I could have got like 4 or 5 because I was going to go for the double Gloucester in the first one, and then I changed my mind on the Swan one.
It's sometimes we think too much about these things, but I
Go
thought
with
that
your
was
instincts.
quite good. Maybe I'm going to have to find quizzes.
Yeah, that worked quite well. That did kill. Whoa, 56
Wow!
minutes. Oh, we haven't done our ABH. Have you even got one?
No, didn't think of one.
I do have one.
Okay.
Do you want to do it or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
because you're going to save that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll do ABH, and I'm the only one that's got it. Hang on. Don't forget to turn it up.
Let's go.
We're on N, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah. The ABCs of ABH. What letters today?
N. That was really loud. Yeah, mine. It's a cop out, but let's just get it out of the way. This letter.
Yeah.
It's a guy. It's not a cop out. It's a guy I've heard of, and I've heard him on podcasts. I've heard him in interviews, and I just find him really interesting, and think people should be more aware of him. It's pretty much the American version of Brian Cox.
Oh,
We've got Brian Cox. There's a guy called Neil deGrasse Tyson. I thought I'd get his name out of the way because last week with the M, I didn't say what my thing was until like 10 minutes into the conversation. I didn't see the name of it.
But it's teasing right up to the moment where you actually say it.
But yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is his name. Do I want to spell it? No, you put Neil D-E and then like his name comes up. He's an astrophysicist and a science communicator. He's just really interesting. The reason I think he's most interesting is because, and I was going to say he's more philosophical, but he might get offended if I say he's more philosophical, but he's more profound than Professor Brian Cox. He his quotes are really profound.
Right.
Like one of his quotes, and I think this is the one he said on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I think this kind of takes it out of context, the way he says it here. And it was more like, if this theory was true, then... He's like, do you realise that if you fall into a black hole, you will see the entire future of the universe unfold in front of you in a matter of moments, and you will emerge into another space-time created by the singularity of the black hole you just fell into.
Deep.
Yeah.
Fuck. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so it's like if you got sucked into a black hole and survived it, you would be in a new universe created by that black hole.
I see.
And I think that was kind of like, if the Big Bang Theory is true and it was done this way, then... That's where this quote kind of came from, and they've just kind of taken it out of context a bit. But yeah, he's this like... Yeah, you can go, when you search Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of the things is Neil deGrasse Tyson quotes.
Right.
Or Neil deGrasse Tyson meme. I'm not sure what the meme is. There was another one, and I can't remember where it is. Oh, fuck, that's too blurry. But yeah, I think he's just like a really interesting guy. Well, other than being a scientist, I'm not any other kind of ist. These ists and isms are philosophies. They're philosophy portfolios that people attach themselves to, and then philosophy does the thinking for you instead of you doing the thinking for yourself. Like, he's a big proponent of question everything.
Yeah.
Like, he says, like, all this stuff I'm telling you, don't believe it just because I've said it. Go and test it. Go and find out whether it is true. Yeah. Which is weird because that's what Scientologists say, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
He's not a Scientologist.
Is he not?
No. But he's just this quite a profound guy, and he's kind of like this whole... Do you realise that as well that we're made up of the very elements, or the very things that came from the Big Bang.
Well, yeah.
Like everyone is connected.
Because we're essentially, that was another thing that I learned off Brian Cox, is that when a star explodes, all those elements that it's made up of go out into the solar system.
They don't disappear.
No, and they eventually turn into planets. That's why there is gold and all other sorts of precious metals. That's why there are minerals. That's why there are these elements on Earth that don't, and certain elements like gold, for example, are so expensive because there are less of them, because there are less stars that are fueled by the gold.
Yeah.
It screws with your mind, because you're like, well, everything that this planet is made up from, including us,
stardust,
made of stars. Yeah,
we are stardust.
Yeah.
We are children of stars. It is when you get into that side of it, and that's where he's interested. He's got loads of books and stuff, and I think eventually I want to read one of his books, but I know it's going to take me like a day to read one page and understand it.
I always wanted to read The Brief History of the Universe, and just that I would get completely lost in that as well,
Although what you could do is you could plug it into like Siri and have Siri read it. And it'd be like Stephen Hawking reading his book.
Point. Or Microsoft Sam.
Yeah. Have Stephen Hawking like audio book version.
That would be cool.
Yeah, one of his quotes as well. I love this one. We spend the first year of a child's life teaching it to walk and talk, and the rest of its life telling it to shut up and sit down. There's something wrong there.
Again, that kind of falls into the question everything thing, isn't it?
Life doesn't exist anywhere but Earth. That's like taking a cup of ocean water and saying there aren't any whales in the ocean.
So
he's a very profound thinker, that guy.
Yeah.
The whole thing about that child quote as well, I love that, because we do give the child everything they need to learn about the world and question everything, but then we kind of, if they say something we don't agree with, we tell them that's not right. And unfortunately, children have got minds where they're kind of like, oh, okay, mummy and daddy say it's not right, so that's not right.
Yeah.
We give them all the tools to learn and to expand, and then we just kind of limit them. That's where it says you need to teach kids to question. But it's wrong. That's the wrong thing as well, because when a child questions a teacher in school, they get told off.
Yeah, true.
So
this is the education system.
So I think he's interesting. I don't know a hell of a lot about him, other than he's an astrophysicist and a very intelligent guy. But he's someone I want to learn more about, and he's someone I think other people should learn more about.
Yeah, why not? I would now go and look up some of his stuff, I think. I assume there are videos of him doing lectures and stuff.
Oh, yeah, you'll find stuff like that on YouTube, no doubt. Yeah, he was on, like I say, I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast. So if you go and look for the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan's very into conspiracy theories.
Right.
And there's a conspiracy theory about did man land on the moon?
Yeah.
Well, Joe Rogan comes along and asks him about that, because he kind of was on the side of believing that we didn't, and it was all a hoax.
Okay.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson just came up with this stuff and was just like, well, no, because when you look at it, that's just fucking ridiculous. And this is why. And he tells you, and you kind of go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. But yeah, Joe Rogan's very conspiracy theory, and he's just fucking just gets stoned the whole time they're recording the podcast. So a lot of what he says, you're kind of like, really? But they are really interesting, but they are like 3-hour long podcasts.
Yeah. You need a lot of time, a lot of free time.
Yes.
Or a job that enables you to listen to that long.
But I've just got so many podcasts to catch up on that Joe Rogan's had to go by the wayside, unfortunately.
Well, that was that's quite interesting. I'll have to do some research into that later on.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry that I didn't come up. I just didn't even think of one.
I couldn't think of anything.
But I didn't even put my mind to it this week at all. I completely...
I was trying to think, what music, what films, what do I like doing? And I couldn't think of anything. What people? Who do I know? Neil deGrasse Tyson. Oh, that's a good one. I'll go for Neil deGrasse Tyson.
And you've pulled it out. That's all good.
Ish.
But yes, so, big revelation from that. We're all made of stars.
Children of stars. You shine. Go out into the world and shine.
Yes, go out into the world and shine. That's been Anywhere But Here this week. I've been Tom.
I've been Ant.
Bye.
Bye.